And welcome to episode 2 of our Wizards MyGM. So last time we went through the first season, wasn't very good. We did not have a really good season with the Washington Wizards. We finished not well in things. Again, nothing we really did. But today we're going to go for the first off season and then probably do a whole season. We're not spending too much time in every season. Kind of want to get through a whole bunch of years. It might be just one season. I don't know if it's going to be off season, that video format, or if it's going to be a combo of both. I don't know if we have better years. Probably if we have better years, we'll slow it down a little bit. But anyway, we're planning on doing the off season and probably season 2 in this episode. If you're enjoying, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. It was very fun to see you guys liking the new content. I'm actually recording this a day before episode 1 comes out, so you guys don't even know this is coming out. So please show some support if you like it. Let me know what you liked about the first episode, what you didn't like about the first episode. If you haven't seen it, go back and see it. Again, this is a series I can kind of pump out a little bit quicker, especially with my busy schedule. So let's look at the player retirements. And LeBron James decided to retire a whole bunch of big names here. My whole childhood is now gone. LeBron James, Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, Al Horford, NBA champion. Al Horford, fun fact. I think the Dallas Mavericks won the championship this year. Mike Conley, Eric Gordon, Kevin Love, Nick Batum, Russell Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan, Jeff Green, and some other. Derrick Rose. Wow. I actually just. Hurry on the Celtics. I just had a post, my tweet. So if you have a Twitter account, go follow me at Cody Shalafu 33 about just how good D Rose was. And people don't remember how good D Rose was. I mean, everyone remembers. We get like 96 Derrick Rose montages a year. Jay Hernandez is retiring. No one gives a shit. LeBron, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook. Obviously, they get in there. Again, MVP, 9 All-Stars, 1, 2, 7, 9 All-NBA teams for Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, 12 All-Stars. 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 5 is 11 All-NBAs and 9 All-Defense awards. And LeBron James, like, absolutely great. 20 All-Stars, 4 championships, 4 MVPs, 4 Finals MVPs, 13 first-team All-NBAs, and that's including 4 second teams and probably a bunch of. There are like so many accolades that they can't fit them all on the screen. One of the best players to ever do it. All right, jersey retirements. Chris Paul gets it with the Clippers, Westbrook with the Thunder, LeBron with the Heat, the Cavaliers, and the Lakers, and Kyle Lowry with the Raptors. I can see all of these happening. I don't know if they retire Chris Paul's jersey. Definitely a really good tenure there. And then the Lakers probably will because they're shills. This should already have happened, and I get that happening as well. They retire everyone's jersey. Draft lottery. Again, we do not have a pick. All right, let's see. How many times do you see the Rockets, Thunder, Nets? 3 Rockets, 2 Thunder, 2 Nets. Like, that's crazy. Again, we do not have any picks here, so we're just gonna kind of get through it. Actually, we're just gonna skip the lottery. No, we're gonna watch the lottery. We're gonna watch the lottery. Thunder stay home. I do enjoy the lottery. It is a very fun time. You like to see the jump, right? Who's gonna jump? Spurs. They're gonna stay put at 12. Again, all these picks have been traded. It's so crazy how many picks just get swapped around. Memphis get the 11th pick, and that's the first pick that they actually had, which is weird because you think that Memphis would be good. Pelicans, not good. Orlando Magic, do they jump up? They did not have a really good season as you thought they would, and they stay put at 9. 8 is the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets will stay at 8. And, so they have 8. And now we're in the top 7. No movement so far. Houston Rockets, they're moving up. And that is one of their 3 picks. So the Trailblazers drop. So we're going to have 3 top 6 picks. 3 top 5 picks for the Rockets. Hornets drop. This is the Wizards, but that's going to go to the Pistons, I believe. Who does our pick belong to? I don't even know who it belongs to. Oh, shit! I did not think we had a first-round pick. On the screen, it said we didn't have... Oh, are the Rockets going to get all top 3 picks? I thought it said they had 3 picks. Why do they only have 1? Oh, are they protections? Maybe that's why. Okay, so I guess we had a protected pick. That it didn't show that we had the protected pick. So I thought this whole time we didn't even have a first-round pick this year. But no, we're picking 4th. So this changes the offseason completely. All right, so we're signing a CFO, Dedrick Shepard, and Randy Martin. Again, we're not really too interested, but I don't think this screen really matters. But these are our coaches. This is our staff, I guess. There's me. Shout out. And yeah, so that's it. Okay, so here is the NBA Draft Combine. And again, so now we pick number 4. And before we do this, let's see, can we see a mock draft? All right, well, actually, let us see the prospect scouting. So I did not think we were going to pick this high up. Good thing I did go out and scout a couple of these guys, even if they were later on in the draft. I thought we were going to be picking more later on. So we have basically everyone scouted pretty well. I think I got the upgrade that you got to get a couple more guys than usual. So we have a whole bunch of guys, especially in this middle section, 100% scouted. Rolando Foster, he is the guy. And this looks like the slam dunk prospect. I don't believe we will be able to get him. He is a point guard. He is 6'6". Maybe we try to swing a deal, but it looks like he is going to go number 1 every single time. I mean, he is the number 1 prospect in all of these guys. This is what he put up in Duke: 8 assists per game, 23.5 points per game, good amount of steals. He shot well. Yeah, like this guy is a freak, and you see his attributes, but we're not going to go too far in. Yeah, and he has game. You can see his gameplay badges. He has some really good badges to work off of. He looks good. Aaron Jones, another Hall of Fame ceiling. This is a shooting guard, point guard from Oregon State. Malcolm Brogdon, so less of kind of more. What's the word I'm looking for? Fluctuating in the ceiling floor. So Foster at worst is a Dave Bing type starter with no significant weakness, not injured. Aaron Jones' weakness is nothing, and he's past his physical, but it's Dwayne Wade or Malcolm Brogdon. That's 2 very different players. And John Duncan, Hall of Fame or the bench? And do you go after that? Do you see that and go, you know what, we can do that? Poor finisher, seems kind of fragile. And it's questionable basketball IQ and court awareness. Be interesting to see if we go him, if he's in there. And this is Quincy Jeffries. It's either Sean Marion or the bench. Plays above the rim, very capable post defender. No significant weakness. Yeah, so let's kind of look at our squad and see what we need. So if we go by position, Jordan Poole is our point guard. I would like him to not be. We have Gabe Vincent and Kyra Lewis Jr. Gabe Vincent will be on our team this year. He's a guy that we pulled from the Lakers to get a pick from them later on. So this is a guy we could be trying to get off of. Bilal Colaby played well. He's going to be our wing, 6'8". I like the fact that we have a very tall, athletic team, or that's kind of the way we are building. Corey Kispert also here as the guy we signed for a shooter, and we got Red Velvet Kevin Herter, another shooter that we took from the Kings to get a first-round pick from them later on as well. Got Bub Carrington, who last year, how much did he play? He did not play much. Just got in probably like 1 or 2 games. He played 3 games this year, so we'd like to see him play more. Johnny Davis, I don't know if he's ever going to make it. Just already at 23 years old, already just hasn't really had much development. be interesting to see if we pick up this option. Sadiq Bey for us. 31% from 3, a guy that we definitely are going to move to the bench in favor of Colby and probably Kispert. So Sadiq Bey, his days are probably numbered, but who wants $12 million over a season for 2 years? Or that $12 million, so that's like $6 million a season, I think. Yeah, so that's total money. So that's actually not too bad. I'm sure we can kind of package him away somewhere. Kyle Kuzma, obviously, kind of our guy, but we also have Alex Sarr, who we probably are going to move to center, and we're going to get rid of Jonas Valanciunas. That's probably a draft day thing that we're going to try to accomplish. Move Sarr down to center, let him be kind of a floor spacing, defense-first center, have Kuzma be the starting 4, and then really the biggest weakness is probably point guard, because I think we want Poole off the bench. So if we can get a point guard here, that would be, or a backup big, that's probably the path that we choose. All right, we have 10 visits to do in the individual workouts. We're going to take Rolando Foster. This is how we are going to do it. We're going to sort by ranking. We're going to get the first, 6 guys. We're going to bring them all in. 7 guys. We're going to bring all these guys in because we are picking high, and then we're going to pick out 3 dudes kind of later in the round. If we see, All right, so right now we have pick 4 and pick 19 in this year's draft. And then it doesn't say we have one in 2026, so I think that is like a pick swap where we had pick protection, so now whatever team we had, again, it's weird that they don't show us right here. So pick 4 and pick 19, so somewhere in the middle of the second round, and obviously pick number 4. So we're going to kind of pick out a couple of guys originally owned picks. Oh, it shows it right here. Okay, so Houston gets our pick in 2026. We have the pick. The Nets own our pick in 2028. How the hell did this happen? I don't get it. How did this happen? Who allowed this? All right, so here's who we brought out in workouts. Alan Bosch, let's go by position. So here are the point guards we brought in: Rolando Foster and Lowell Carl. Carl was projected to go later in the round, so not too strong, not as fast as Foster. Foster just has it all, but shooting-wise, Carl is on par, and we saw how good. We look at his stats on the season from Virginia Tech, only 20 years old, about 23-9, and good shooting splits. So this is a guy that we would like, hopefully, in that second round if we can. If we have to move up, we will. Obviously, Jonas Valanciunas, a piece that we're going to try to move, so we'll see what we can get with him. Foster, obviously, just the guy. If we can move up and get him, perfect. If not, oh well, we're just live with that. Shooting guards, we got Alan Bosch. He's from Richmond, another 23.5 point per game guy, but a really good shooter, very solid shooting splits all around. We'll see where he goes. John Duncan, this is the guy that had that high floor, or high ceiling, low floor. We'll see what Bosch's predictions are. All NBA or bench. And then if we go to Lowell Carl, he was all-star or bench, kind of in a Jamal Murray, Lou Williams role, they're saying. Foster of the Hall of Famer or Dave Bing. Bosch is Bradley Beal or Larry Hughes, 6'5". John Duncan, Pete Maravich or Terry Teagle. So more of a point guard, I think. And if you look at his season stats, a really good scorer. Like, all these look really good. The wild card personality is interesting. Aaron Jones, struggling from moving NBA 3, but still better than most people do. Again, this 14 range, 15 range is pretty good. Standing 3 is okay. Moving college is fine. Standing college is fine. So just solid group of shooters, which you want from your shooting guards. Aaron Jones, 30 points per game last year, probably led the nation. And that's the Dwayne Wade, Malcolm Brogdon guy. Small forward, since this is going to probably be our choice of adding a premier starter other than point guard. Jerome Reed, All-NBA or a starter. Really good rebounder, really good defender, and he's at 6'4", So probably more of a guard. I don't want a 6'4" small forward, especially with Bilal Kalabi. So this is kind of more of a guard on the perimeter, but with 2.5 blocks per game. I can see the Bobby Jones. Appears to have a knack for steals. He's going to be interesting. Shot it okay. Not too great from 3 either way, but definitely more of an inside scorer it sees. And yeah, so only a D+ 3-point shooting. Bruce Palmer, a little bit more just overall not that great offensively, but still gets Glenn Robinson comps. Just really an overall well-rounded guy, more of a point forward at 6'5". He could be interesting, and the shooting splits actually look a little bit better than you would think they would be. Francis Newman, this is a guy who can probably go later in the draft because he went to San Francisco. Well-rounded offensive profile, not the best defender, but did not shoot well at all last year. But you say Bill Bradley, Romeo Langford. For those who do not know, I was the president of the Romeo Langford fan club, so already Hall of Fame guy for me. And then Quincy Jeffries is the Sean Marion dude that's going to project to go 4. He shot not too well, but way better from 3 than you would think, but definitely more of a defender. And at 6'7", kind of a 4 versatile guy, this is kind of the guy that I would like to draft, and we definitely could draft. Jeffrey Sims was the only big that we brought. We think we're pretty good in our bigs at 23 years old from North Kakalaki. More of a defender with some really good inside scoring. This is just your traditional go bang down low type of guy, not shooting too much from things. They say Elvin Hayes, very underrated player all time. Elvin Hayes. So that is our team workouts. Let's get, I think, into the draft next. And we are going to find ourselves a trade. We are trading Jonas Valanciunas, shipping him off to the Nets for a pick in the back end of the first round. There are a few centers in this draft that I think it's a very solid center draft. I think we did a really good job scouting those guys. Why you didn't see too many of them in our team workouts. But we're going to take Grant Williams, the guy that no one wants. This guy's going to be traded like 6 times. Literally Boston to Dallas and then to Charlotte in 2 years. And then Charlotte to Brooklyn this year. He's going to come to us. No one really wants this contract. We are going to pick up a pick in the next this round. And let's see what the Nets are looking like in terms of their team. And they could use a backup big. Noah Clowney is not really doing too much. And again, I feel like they would rather have a Valanciunas asset than a Grant Williams asset. So we're going to pick up a late round pick that they're probably not going to be able to sign or use anyway. And yeah, so we are going to make this trade with the Nets, and let's go to the draft. And here we go. It is the Toronto Raptors on the clock. They should take Aaron Jones. Interesting. Jazz are on the clock, and they take Rolando Foster. I did look to see if they could make a trade. They weren't going to make a trade. And we have a trade to announce for the 3rd pick, and the Jazz get it. So they're sending Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson to the Rockets for 3rd overall and a 1st in for Dallas. Doesn't make sense, but fine, let's do it. And now the Jazz have the 2nd and 3rd pick, and they take John Duncan. Okay, so that's probably would have been our guy. Let's see who we are going to take on the clock. For their selection, we are going to take Quincy Jeffries out of UCLA. This is kind of the guy we want, a long, athletic wing defender. And we got him. He's going to be our Sean Marion. You did see that he had high work ethic in the badges. It's going to be a very, very, very good badge to have. I think he's going to progress really nicely, and I'm actually very excited about that pick. Here are some of the next first-round picks as we have 23 and a trade to announce. What is happening here on draft day? Brooklyn gets 8th overall, and they get a first-round pick and a second-round pick to the Thunder. So the Thunder actually are on their clock now. They take Bruce Palmer out of North Carolina. Dan Terry goes to the Magic. And another trade to announce. Memphis is on the clock. And it looks like they're going to get gone. They're sending John Concher and the 11th pick to OKC. They're getting 2 first-round picks next year. So OKC trades back in, and they get Don Irving from Wisconsin. Fastest player in the draft, they are saying. Spurs trying to add to Wemby. They're going to trade. And they are going to get Kelly Olynyk and Gary Harris. So they're going to get rid of the 12th pick and get 2 rotation players to kind of add. And it's Nihat Bastürk from Turkey. This is one of those guys that I was hoping maybe falls down to 23. Preston Person from UConn. He goes to OKC here. Jayshawn Dennis goes to Brooklyn. Wilson Burton to OKC. So all 3 of their first round picks, at least in the lottery or close to lottery, are done. Dwayne Cartwright to San Antonio. Magic on the clock. They take Alan Bosch, who has been very, very, very interested in taking. I don't think we're going to trade up. We're going to keep our access. Lowell Carl, another guy who I was interested in. We need that point guard. So that's 2 guys back-to-back that I would have liked to have on our team. They are gone. Frederick Green to OKC. Edward Webb III to Brooklyn. And we're up just in a moment here. Del Brooks off the board. Be interesting to see how the board has fallen. Tyler Jordan, a point guard. So now let's check who we're going to take potentially at 23. We're going to reach a little bit, or not reach a little bit. We're going to take a center, Joe Rollins. He was the G League Unite here at 21 years old, former top guy in his class that just kind of never figured it out. Good lower body strength, promising shot blocker and defender. Hasn't shown any signs he's going to get steals. That's okay. He's healthy. He's a guy that has, our scouting report says, a ceiling of All-NBA, but a floor of bench, so a very, very drastic change. And not the best rebounder. We'd love to see a way better rebounding, but post defense is fine out of the gate. Can shoot a little bit in the mid-range. We're going to take Joe Rollins to be our backup big. Now let's finish out this first round and then kind of see what the second round has to get. So they got another guy named Frederick. Oh no, it was Orlando Moore. I don't know, whoever the first guy was. Jermaine Leonard goes. The Celtics did not win the championship this year. They take Henry Smith, a point guard. There is a point guard later in the draft that I would love to see with our second pick if he's still there. And there he is, Roland Walsh. So, yeah, that was it. That was the guy I kind of wanted. So we'll see what is going to be available for us when we pick. But Roland Walsh was the guy that I kind of really, really wanted. Seeing him, I thought he was going to be there more than that Big was going to be there. But that's going to be. And Brian Valentine will be the last pick of the first round. And that is going to do it. We'll just skip ahead to our pick at, I think, 19th in this round. We're going to take a chance on Stuart Washington. Not the highest overall, 22 years old, but 6'7", has some badges already, and the high work ethic, which is what I really, 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 really want to have on this team that helps, I believe, in development. Nate McMillan, Tyrone Wallace is your comps, and haven't had any medical concerns with them. His attributes, really good perimeter defender. Playmaking's not in a great spot, but he can score a little bit closer to the basket. We're going to go with Stuart Washington. There wasn't really too much left in this draft anyway, and let's look at the overalls and finish up this draft. All right, so here are what the overalls are looking like. We took Quincy Jeffries, 74 overall, one of the better picks remaining after Orlando Foster went and Aaron Jones went, 2 top picks in the draft. We got one of the more promising, interesting guys, I think, in the draft. Would have been nice to have Foster. Would have even been nice to have Jones, but we're going to go with Jeffries here. He's going to come in at 74 overall at number 22. Some other good picks. The Trailblazers got Jerome Reed. He's 75. He was the only guy higher. Kyle Haywood at 74. Let's see. Who are some of the other guys? Bastürk, Nihat Bastürk, the guy we were looking at. He comes in at 73. Where is Alan Bosch? Was also a 73. He's gonna look very, very good, I think. So that's a good pickup for the Magic this late in the draft. Lowell Carl, he's coming in at 71. No badges for either of those guys, but those are 2 guys I probably would take at 23 if they were still available. And we got Joe Rollins, so he's in that same tier as those guys. But again, center not that wasn't a need for us, but would have liked to get somebody else, I think. And then wrapping it up, Roland Walsh was 70 Henry Smith, another point guard we're looking at, he was a 70. And Brian Valentine and Jackson Russell were two other centers I was looking at. I think actually these three were also in the Rollins tier, and I think I picked the best out of the bunch. In the second round, Frederick Buckner was a 70 overall as the last pick in the draft, so Mr. Irrelevant. Again, we picked up Stuart Washington, who's a 65 overall, probably the lowest rated guy drafted here, but it is what it is. Second round pick. Drew Warren was the other center. So Drew Warren was there, 6'11", 226. He goes to the Pacers just a couple picks before us. He probably would have been the pick if he was still on the board. Just doubling up on center, trying to strike gold twice. And Daryl Teague looks like the best player drafted in the second round. And we got a morale hit in the 5 first-round fucking picks this guy wanted us to get. -8. Who cares? And we're going to sign all these guys to these contracts, and there we go. Team player options. We're going to decline the Johnny Davis experience. Again, I just don't think he's going to be on our team. I don't see just a place for him. Patrick Baldwin, I also don't see a place for. Let's see, what did he do with us this year? 4 points per game, didn't shoot well. Yeah, I'm also not going to bring back Baldwin. So we're actually going to decline Baldwin and Davis. We're going to bring back Hollaby as well. Obviously, he's going to be one of the starters for us, and see how it goes. All right, so Kyrie Irving going into free agency. I doubt he's going to come here. I doubt we're going to go after him. Obviously, to pick up Wemby. Jimmy Butler has declined his option. Player option for Middleton declined. The team option for Van Fleet is declined. James Harden is on the free agent market. Naz Reid. All right, here we are in free agency. Let's go over the available guys. In free agency, we're not going to look at the affordable. We'll just look at the guys who are out here. Jamal Murray, Fred VanVleet, James Harden, Jalen Suggs, your top point guards, D'Angelo Russell, Malcolm Brogdon, Lonzo Ball, kind of in that lower tier. We do want a point guard. I don't think we're going to get one of these guys. Shooting guards, Kyrie Irving, also basically more of a point guard. He is out there. He's expecting $70 million, $60 million a year. I doubt we get into that race. I don't think we're going to get really into any of these big races, but we will see. Karis LeVert, Gary Trent, Nickeil Alexander Walker are the next tier below. Small forwards, some names, I guess. These guys definitely have names. I wouldn't say they're great names. I wouldn't say they're good names. I think we have Jimmy Butler and then a battered, beaten Chris Middleton and then some other dudes, really. Trey Lyles, Robert Covington, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dario Saric. It's a really poor power forward market. And then some centers out there with Jalen Duren. Unrestricted free agent Jalen Duren. Interesting. That's definitely a strategy that the Pistons are employing. Definitely a strategy for sure. So let's again check out our team before we get into free agency. This is what the roster is looking like right now. Again, point guard, an issue for us. We would love to have someone playing over Jordan Poole, make him our bench guy. We'd love to see that. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. Gabe Vincent right now is our backup for shooting guards. Again, so Bilal Colaby is probably going to be our 3, with Kispert being our 2. That's most likely going to be the area that we go, with Herter and Bub Carrington on the bench. Sadiq Bey also the bench. Quincy Jeffries also on the bench. I think our wings are fine. I don't think I want to add any more wings. We do need some forward and center depth, I believe. So I would love to pick up a forward or a center to go along with all these guys. Sar's going to be moved to our full-time center. So let's just, I don't think we're going to make too many big splashes. Maybe try to hit on some guys. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on the roster. I actually don't think we can make any moves, obviously, with the roster being the way it is. Maybe we try to make a trade or two, but we'll see what free agency holds. We make some calls as a GM. We're going to make this trade with Memphis Grizzlies. Sadiq Bey not having a great year, but an absorbable contract. Even though he's not shooting too well, is a pretty decent defender. So they're going to add that to a team that wants to get better. They're going to add that. We just look at what they have right now. Right now, they're starting small forwards, G.G. Jackson, Vince Williams. So they could use some depth, especially at shooting guard as well, behind Desmond Bain. So he slots in quite nicely to where these guys want to go. We pick up just a guy that they have other dudes in his position group that they're trying to develop. So I don't think he was getting any shine, and they really want to get a push. We'll get a top 5 protected pick, not next year, the year after. So this could help us down the road, and we are going to make this trade. All right, so we did make 2 signings. Jalen Williams, former of the OKC Thunder, just kind of got out of the rotation because of Chet Holmgren. He's going to come here and be our backup backup center. So that's really exciting. And Grand Theft Alvarado is going to come here. $4 million a year for 3 years. We're going to have him be our starting point guard, kind of get a tradition of defense and try to add on that way. I think we're at the team roster maximum. So we'll go to free agency, see who signs where, and do all that stuff. All right, so these are all who have signed. Jamal Murray to the Hornets, which is interesting. Van Fleet to the Lakers. Harden back to the Clippers. Schroeder back. And just kind of the big names we're going to go through. Cody Martin to the Heat. Back to the Heat. Or, no, Caleb was on the Heat. Okay, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, he was always on the Hornets, so he's going to the Heat. Alex Burke also to the Heat. Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard to the Nets. Karis LeVert and Kyrie Irving. Big deal for the Mavericks. No small forwards got signed so far. Aaron Wiggins, to the Spurs. Not really big market there. Von Looney to the Nuggets. Obviously, we got Jalen Williams. Naz Reid to the Timberwolves. Jalen Duren to the Jazz. So they have... I don't know how the hell he was out there. Pacers keep you, and Rockets keep Sengun. Here's the player progression, and Alex Sarr boosted up. Colaby boosted up by 6 points and 4 points, respectively. You love to see that. Jordan Poole up a little bit. Grant Williams up a little bit. Jalen Williams up a decent amount as well. And Holmes down. But these guys doing a really, really good job at developing as well. And we got some pretty good development from our dudes. So that's pretty good to see. 6 overall up is pretty good. I'm going to go around the league, show any notables. Joel Embiid regressing a little bit. Paul George regressing a good amount of bit. But they also have Jared McCain, who's moving up a little bit too. Kawhi and Harder, their big old ages, they are shooting down towards Norman Powell. So a good amount of regression from the Clippers, which you, I guess, hate to see, like to see, I don't know. Zachary Reese-Taché, he's up by 5 overall, so, and Dyson Daniels up by 5 overall, so we have the better French prospect officially. Whole bunch of green here in Utah. They just keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding, and this is going to be a very dangerous team. The number 1 overall pick and the easy top prospect last year, it's your 6th man on this team. That's crazy. This is what the LeBron-less Lakers look like. So their top guys decreasing, but some pretty good jumps from their lower guys. So interesting to see where they're going to finish in this bunch. Jump from the Rockets as well. Everyone getting pretty significant bumps. Victor Wembanyama, an absolute fucking freak, but we all knew that. And some really good +6 from Spawn Castle. It's the second +6 I've seen other than Sarr. So the 2 biggest developers so far this year, Castle and Sarr. Chicago will host the All-Star game like we actually give a shit. All right, so we have to trim our roster down. We are over players here. Let's see what we got. All right, get rid of just some dead weight. And that's going to be the guy we just released, who I just instantly forgot his name, Gabe Vincent, and we're going to get rid of Rashawn Holmes. We tried to trade these guys. They didn't get any big gets there, so we are going to get rid of those guys, and yeah, that's going to be our team going into season number 2. And James Harden plans to retire. We'll give him a farewell tour. And here it is, season number 2. I think we are just going to stick with the this being the only thing we do. But let's check out Sar. Tell me my line lately, like so. Okay, so this is going to get the same exact things that we got before. So I have seen everything kind of being the same year in and year out, which kind of sucks and kind of minimizes minimizes the experience here. But it is what it is. Okay. So this guy's talking about a dream. Shake up our starters, like what we're talking about, some bench lineups. Nope, I want you to trade or cut our oldest player. We need some fresh blood. Yeah, fuck it. Let's say yes. Study the meaning of dreams. That could be a little tricky and relevant. Let me ask you a few questions. I'm going in love with you. That seems like a tough ass. Our veterans are key, both on and off the court. I'm sorry, but you put. All right, we'll say yes because we didn't say yes to him before. Let's see who our oldest player is. This is our cliffhanger. Fuck, it's Kuzma. So we're going to be trading Kyle Kuzma eventually. All right, see you next time.